So this thing is on. Excellent. Wonderful. I went through a whole bunch of little stories when I did my honours project. A few of them, got rejected along the way but had merits of their own. This was originally entitled Experiments in Perspective 2. I decided to call it something else, but the real question was the title I went with. So, there's a chime and a cheerful voice sounds. We are now entering US airspace. As of this moment, the plane now has an aluminum airframe. I chuckle, though not loudly enough to be heard beyond my seat. I really should make a New Year's resolution to stop finding the concept of other countries inherently amusing. I have to stop myself from thinking. Take Belgium, for instance. Don't even bother getting into the whole French, German, Flemish, Wallon, or possibly the other way around thing. Don't even start on the fact that the most famous Belgian is an iconic English fictional character. Or that a country known for making chocolate and pastry is really one of the small arms capitals of the world. Just like the country's called Belgium is amusing. Belgium. And of course, they share a border with the Dutch. Sometimes I can't. Sometimes trying hurts. That the Finns have managed to bring their life expectancy down to 18th century levels by dint of hard drinking is at least as tragic as it is amusing, but somehow that only makes it more amusing. Finland also has to deal with Scandinavia envy, and tries to slyly slip into any group involving Scandinavia. Turkey, dealt no favours by being called Turkey, now has Europe envy, despite having always been one of the textbook definitions for not Europe. But I have to keep trying. And how do people decide to end the names for each country's inhabitants? Why is someone from Australia Australian, and someone from America American, but someone from China isn't China? Whoever assigns demonyms does so without a binding internal logic. The plane is too heavy. No, it's not. I felt the engines kick in at takeoff. These jumbo engines are so powerful they use them to carry space shuttles. Maybe they don't carry them from Sydney to Los Angeles, but they're machines, and they don't get tired. What if there isn't enough fuel? They pump these things full of fuel. There is literally a truckload of fuel on board the plane. And during the flight, as it uses fuel, it gets lighter, and it doesn't need to use as much fuel. The plane's lost enough fuel that it's meaningfully lighter. Some countries have cool names, like Bhutan or Côte d'Ivoire. Or maybe French for Ivory Coast because of the dead elephant trade. Côte d'Ivoire sounds cool. If Côte d'Ivoire were a guy, he'd be a cool guy. He'd be a sharp-dressed fellow like Idris Elba, which is also a cool name. Makes you wonder what countries would be like if they were people. Mr. Trinidad Tobago and so on. And whenever you had to visit a country, you'd just wander over and see Uncle Sam, instead of flying to America. A bead of sweat the size of a slug drips from the bottom of my thigh onto my calf. My palms and elbows are itchy. I'm breathing through my mouth, and I've got a headache that throbs so violently I can hear all the little bones in my ears. Superman once said, "I hope this experience hasn't put you off flying, Miss Lane. Statistically speaking, it's still the safest way to travel." That line was written in 1976. How many airline crashes have there been since 1976? Superman's not a legitimate source of travel advice. I'm gonna die, and when they find the plane, they're gonna say the airframe is aluminum. Is Cantada the opposite of Canada? There's a chime, and a cheerful voice sounds. We are now entering US airspace. The guy next to me looks like he's freaking out.